Welcome back to Educator.com's English Grammar course. This lesson is on sentence fragments. Let's get started. Alright, we're going to begin this lesson with a brief overview. We're going to talk about sentence boundaries, which is where fragments actually come from. We're going to talk about phrases and clauses because most sentence fragments are actually disembodied phrases and clauses. And we're going to talk about the different kinds of sentence fragments. The ones that are a subordinate clause, ones that have a missing subject or verb, ones that have a missing subject and verb, and fragments used for effect. There actually is a way to use fragments correctly, and I'll show you what it is. Alright, sentence boundaries. Sentences need boundaries. They need punctuation and other techniques to break thoughts down into easily digestible chunks. Humans are easily distracted. We need ways to put our language into little bits so we get it. When there are too many boundaries, sentences end up as fragments. We've broken them down into pieces that are too small, which is where we get the word fragments. When there aren't enough boundaries, sentences end up as run-ons. Now we're going to cover run-ons in our next lesson, but I thought I'd introduce the concept here just so you know there is the other end of the spectrum. Alright, we're going to talk about the difference between a phrase and a clause because they make two different kinds of fragments and you fix them in different ways. A phrase does not contain both a subject and a predicate. Now you remember from our lesson on sentence structure that the subject is whatever is performing the action and the predicate is the action they're performing. A phrase is missing one of those, possibly even both. It may contain one or the other, or it may contain neither of them, but it never ever has both. So we have things like to the store, which is a prepositional phrase. It has an object, but no subject, no predicate. We have sleeping soundly, which is participial, but no subject. We have once upon a time. Once again, we have an adverb and a prepositional phrase, but no subject, no predicate. And without saying a word, another prepositional phrase. Now, a clause, unlike a phrase, contains both a subject and a predicate. And there are two different kinds of clauses. There's an independent clause, which expresses a complete thought and can stand alone. So in this case, I went to the store is an independent clause. It could be a sentence all by itself. It has a subject, I. It has a predicate, went to the store. It works perfectly well as a sentence all by itself. It's independent. It doesn't need anything else. A dependent or subordinate clause, we use both names in English, unfortunately, cannot stand alone. It depends on another clause to do this. It begins with a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun.